Washington, D.C. is known as a fairly conservative town, so it might surprise you to know that it's actually had a lively history in punk music. Indeed, so much so that now the city's public library has created a punk rock archive. It is admittedly quite an unusual combination of loud music and quiet book stacks. Here's our report.
This is the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library in Washington, D.C. It was designed by the famous architect, Mies van der Rohe. We recently had a punk show in the basement to launch the DC Punk Archive. So the idea for starting a DC Punk Archive here at DCPL has been floating around for years, but the project really got legs when we met James Schneider, who's working on Punk the Capitol. He has come across so many collections that are in danger of being lost if they're not preserved some way.
Putting it in an archive actually will allow people who care about the real history to go through and piece it together, hopefully someday. My definition of punk is basically my definition of a DIY culture, where people do not sit around the house and kvetch about the fact that they're not getting their fair share, or that they're not being paid attention to, or that the music scene sucks. You don't have to be in a band, you don't have to do anything in particular except for to get off your ass.
DC Punk is always about maintaining a sort of agency in your music, questioning authority, making decisions for yourself, staying true to your art, and about rejecting like a corporate status quo. What you see in the legacy of DC Punk is a lot of people who were friends making music to connect with and communicate with each other, and that's why that music still really resonates with people today and influences people today.
It has a global impact, and in our travels, wherever we go, it's like people seem to have somehow been touched by this music. We'd play like a small town in Washington State, and they'd tell us about the first time Nation of Ulysses came to town, and it completely changed their lives. Or seeing friends in England with like Fugazi posters on their bedroom walls when Fugazi hasn't been a band for 10 years.
DC Punk was more than Fugazi. DC Punk was a million bands happening all at the same time. The DC Punk scene is a community of people, and those nuances will be found in the ephemera at the DC Library.
And I'm willing to bet that that is not a side of Washington, D.C. that you have seen very often. Remember, of course, that you can find out more on that story, as long as the rest of the day's news, all the events in France and in Jerusalem, on our website. And if you'd like to see what we're working on at any time, check out our Facebook page. I'm Katty Kay. Thanks for watching. Stay with us. We'll have more here on World News America.